Hello, and welcome to another edition of Mickner's World of Graphic Design. My name is Dallas Mickner, and I'm going to be working with you to try some type expansion in Adobe Illustrator. Let's get started. Now, this week's practice, called type expansion, is really about putting outlines around your text. You'll be able to find some examples of this by going to the Type Expansion AI Practice folder in week 3, and you can access some information by opening up the shared folder on Google Drive. Then, once you have the information on worksheet, you can do it yourself, or you can still keep following along with me in this video. Let's get started with a Illustrator file. So I'm going to open up a new file, and I'm going to make it about a size of a letter, 8.5 by 11 inches. I'm going to turn mine horizontally so I have a nice wide screen to work with. Then, the next thing I'm going to do is make sure my layers panel is open so that I can create as many as I need to. I'm going to select my type tool and make sure that's on, because this exercise is all about expanding your text. Then, to choose a good font, instead of just opening up the menu in the options bar, you can see it gives me the name of the fonts, but I can't tell what they really look like. I'm going to go to the type menu and open up the font, and there we can actually see the names of the fonts and what they're going to look like. So for example, I'm going to choose this one called Black Oak Standard. It just stands out quite a bit. For this exercise, I'm going to make my font points quite big, just for a simple word. And I'm also going to use all caps so that it's easy to see. There's my first word. Exciting, isn't it? Type. Okay, so once we've got type chosen, the next thing in our direction says we need to make sure we're spelled correctly, because if our words are not spelled correctly, we can't go back and edit them. We have to restart. I think my word is spelled correctly, so I'm going to move on. The next thing I'm going to do is select my type by using the selection tool. You can see how it's bounded in the blue box. Same thing with the color of my layer. And I'm going to open up my type menu and click the option called Create Outlines. Notice how that it has made a lot more vector points around all of my type. Now the entire thing has been chosen. Once that's been ready, I'm going to open up my window menu and choose the Appearance panel. There it is over here. I'm going to just adjust these a little bit so that I have more room with some of my panels over here. There we go. Then, once my appearance panel is ready to go, I'm going to double click on the contents. And that opened up the compound path, which gives me a stroke and a fill. The next thing I want to do is literally choose the stroke layer and drag it down below the fill. You'll notice the double line pop up with the grabbed fist. Let go once you see that, and now the stroke is below the fill. Once that is completed, highlight the stroke menu and choose a different stroke color by opening up your swatches just for this exercise, and choose something simple to see. I'm going to go with a bright yellow. Then, once that's done, increase the size of your stroke either by clicking on that size area in the layers panel or going up to your options menu and simply increasing the size of the stroke. You should be able, if I zoom in a little bit, to see that yellow stroke now appeared behind my letters. That's one expansion of text. The next thing I'm going to do is going to duplicate this to create even more expansions. So this stroke layer is now still highlighted blue. I'm going to go down to this little icon here and click Duplicate Selected Item. Now I've got two strokes, but they're the same size, so you'll only notice one until one gets bigger. So I'm going to select the bottommost stroke, choose a different color so that I have something stand out. This time I'll go for a purple. That will really stand out from behind there. And I'll increase the stroke again. Now we can see that both of those strokes are around my type, expanding the text because one stroke is larger than the other. And we're going to keep doing that process of repeating by duplicating a stroke, increasing the size, changing the color, until we get the look that we're going for. So again, I will duplicate that, choose the bottommost stroke, select a new color. This time I'll go with some orange for another bright color. Increase the stroke value again by a certain number of points, and there you can see that the type keeps getting expanded and expanded. However, you might notice a problem once you start doing this. If I zoom in anymore, you can see that my letters are starting to overlap each other in this word, which means I probably have gone as far as I really want to, otherwise my word might not be readable anymore. So I'm going to do another practice. This time I'm going to lock this layer so I can't do anything to it, just because I like the way the word type looks. I'm going to create a new layer, and on this new layer I'm going to select a new style of type or new font of type. Oh, this time let's go with Broadway. Then on the new layer I'm going to re-choose my type tool, type out a new word. You can see that word I've chosen sort of matches my idea of what I'm trying to do, is put some space between my letters so that when I expand my text, I no longer have the problem of the overlap. So again, once my letters have been typed, I'm going to turn on my selection tool so that my word has been selected. Then again, I'm going to repeat the steps as before by going to Object, creating outlines around that object, making sure my appearance panel is open selected, double-clicking on the content to open up that compound path that is now created by outlining my text. I'm going to drag that stroke down below the fill, choose a color for that stroke, increase the point value of it so that it's noticeable, and again select that stroke to duplicate it to create a new one. Select the bottommost stroke, choose a new color, increase the point value, and again repeat that process until I'm happy with the look of my new created word. There we go. So as you can see, my new word space has drastically been improved in design by creating some expanded outlines around the text. Well, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you have some fun. Please keep experimenting and come up with some really neat text for your upcoming business designs. Thank you.
Slow.